Hi, I'm Anthony, and in today's video, I'm with my coach Wodge, and he's going to be taking me through some of the drills and techniques that I need to incorporate into my training in order to get the maximum number of muscle ups in my next competition. Over to you, Wodge.
Right. So we're trying to overcome the technical difficulty of V-ups. We're doing the regressed version with knees slightly bent rather than starting fully hollow. And we're also trying to make sure that we control it on the way back down and our shoulders don't fully drop on the floor. So ideally, in this position now, we want to keep the shoulders lifted so our core is still shortened. That's it. Okay, rest up. Next time, we're going to make sure that this part of your spine doesn't touch the floor, yeah? So it looks pretty good. I'll probably place the hands closer so they're directly below the shoulders. Like basically think about your position of your palms should be the same width as when you do your bar muscle ups. Yep. So it's kind of simulating the movement to a greater degree. Perfect. Obviously, whilst we're moving back and forth, you'll notice that both the shoulders slide back, but also we're flexing our feet to kind of allow the whole body to move back and forth. Good. Nice. Awesome. I never really thought about it this way, but there is a tiger badminton push-up, which basically is like a horrendous version of that. I wouldn't really treat it like a linear progression, but it looks really cool. And George, one of my competing athletes, you're competing with him on the same day for pull and lift. He's on under 66. Yeah, he's working on it right now. You basically technically go into forearm stand and then shimmy yourself back on. Like, V-ups. Yes. But this time, remember, keeping the shoulders off the floor at all times, yeah? So the core doesn't really get a break for the duration of you performing V-ups. Okay. So it's good. Yeah, shoulders lifted. That's it. Yeah, you're gonna start with legs out. Shoulders up, shoulders up. Keep them up. Don't let them drop, yeah? That's it, yeah. Good. Again, to reiterate, the reason why we're practicing this is regression, but in general, V-ups, is to help us hold and lock onto the bar. Basically, that function is performed by the core. My legs are literally trying to drive towards my face. Yeah. If they go down, I fall off the bar, like I just did. Yeah? So having a good core compression is going to help us lock onto the bar sooner and prevent us from falling off. Okay. And it's perfectly within legal, within rules to perform it like that. So some people say, oh, if your legs don't go up, that invalidates the rep. But in reality, we always fold when we go into the over transition. So at this point, legs coming forward a little bit, generally is really not a problem. Yeah, try a full version, try straight legs, and shoulders up first. That's it, then go from here. So the full version is try to reach over and touch the toes instead, and don't bend the leg. That's it. Look at you go. Yeah, try not to bend the knees as much. Okay, we're gonna move on to the actual accessories or drills beyond just the warm-up. So far we've done chest openers, Russian push-ups, and V-ups. So today we're gonna start in reverse. So I normally always work in negatives. So start with this. Do the movement you're trying to learn. We start top down to bottom. Again, not always, but majority of the time, if you can't do the concentric, the way up movement of something, because majority of the movements are movement up, right? We focus on reversing it, or doing individual parts of it, or even isometric holds at different points. So rather than going up to down or top position to bottom position, I mean, we could do that as well, but we kind of already did all the previous sessions. we might just start, that box is too high or whatever, we might just start with pinning the chest to the bar, sending shoulder blades back, and then just trying to hold this. Then you've got one option like that, the other option, both legs in. And what you will find that it pulls like hell on the muscles and tendons of the forearm, so the forearm flexors. That's why I suggest definitely starting, easing into it with leg assistance.
Yeah.
So majority of the weight stays on the box, and we're just trying to both drive the bar towards our sternum, but also not caving into it, trying to stay open. Now the reason why we extend the back is, if I pull with my shoulder blades back, even if I always pull to like level with collarbones, but I do this, and I bring the bar closer, the bar makes contact lower relative to my chest, which means as I cramp and lean, I end up higher on the bar. Now, whereas if I pull was crunched, I will get stuck. Yeah, the bar ends up like higher relative to my body. So it's going to be higher. It's going to be harder for me to clear it. So I'll show you again, obviously false grip. So I'm sloping the hands. Pisiform bone over. This is just to help us kind of wiggle. You can still kind of transfer some of it mid-transition into your not standard standard ring bar muscle. So if I'm here, my sternum is like mostly over the bar. If I'm here, there's no way in the world I'm going to be able to do it. Like I can try, but it'll just be me failing miserably. Like I will have to tricep so much harder to wiggle over. Whereas if I'm here, it's a smooth glide, So I don't have to. I mean, on a really good day, I can do an impossible dip, which is one of the few movements that majority of like even advanced Cali athletes either can't do or sleep on. They don't realize it's a thing, or they just don't train it because they don't know how. It's a little bit like you do a Victorian and then you just pop yourself up into support position. So it's literally a bodyweight tricep extension. I mean that helps. That helps. But yeah, let's give it a bash, okay? So we go, bar goes to the line below the pegs, we pin the shoulder blades back, over grip, pull the bar in towards us. And obviously that box is a little bit high. Let's swap it for this one. Because that's going to be, it will help you already be in the right place. For that wash, perfect. Whereas if I was there, like I would have to lower myself down into it. So shoulder blades back. Yeah, that's it. A little bit lower. So you're going to pass the bottom of the sternum and then keep the shoulder blades back. Keep that knee bent. Keep your hips forward. Oh, that's pretty good. Lovely. Nice. Yeah, about 5 seconds is all we need. How was that on a scale of 1 to 10?
Difficulty.
Yeah, difficulty.
8.5.
8.5. Okay, so if it was, you're stuck there, but at least you're holding it and you're building that strength in tricep and around the elbow, and you know your ability to get yourself close, but also high enough over the bar so we can eventually practice rolling over. Again, this is like the slow muscle up, the false grip muscle up version. It's not the same as this typical. If you ever start with the wrist or the forearm touching the bar before you do your rep, that represents spontaneously invalid. Okay. But when we do the movement and we do that, then we can use the wiggle and the strength that we've built around the bar to give ourselves an advantage. So you also said it's 8 out of 10 level of difficulty. If it was 7, it probably means we could do quite a lot of it. If it's 8.5, it's definitely on the heavy side, which means there will be only a couple of reps that will be sensible to do. It's not something you can continue putting your body through without prior long preparation. This technically counts as preparation, but you gotta dose it, you know? Too much of the good thing is no good. Sink finding the door and chest sticking out. That's it. And now step one leg forward and then match it. Keep the glutes really tight as well. That's awesome. 3, 2, 1, rest. Good.
Oh yeah, really good.
Yeah, honestly, it's so much for the body to kind of help us stay there. But you're teaching yourself to be able to, like that you're building isometric strength at the very top of the pull. And if you only pull this high, you should be able to clear the bar, especially if you're still all the way up, or there's a moment of inertia where your body feels weightless for a fraction of a second. Then we can just snap with a V-sit and then lock ourselves onto the bar. Yeah. Now that you know the bottom position, I mean, we could do some exercises that help us like prehab our forearms. So if you do a lot of force grip stuff, if you do a lot of ring muscle up board, if you do a lot of these kind of accessories where they're heavy, really heavy emphasis on the forearm and tendons around the elbows, it's probably sensible to also inform the audience that we should be doing like forearm curls with like gentle weight, like 3 kilos. If you're really strong, maybe 5. Yeah, so there is a concept called reciprocal inhibition. What it does is if you keep doing these holds, this muscle gets really tight and it stays partially contracted. This is a layman's terms explanation, but this muscle remains really tight and contracted even after training. So you'll feel it. It's a little bit tighter than normal. If you allow it to stay like that for a long time and you don't address that tightness by trying to force this muscle into relaxation, what happens is you'll start developing inflammation in your tendon, and that becomes a golfer's elbow. You've got loads of resting muscle tension, and that can cause inflammation in the elbow. So how we address that is by doing forearm curls like this. You're activating the opposing antagonist muscle. If this muscle activates, the signal from the brain goes into the muscle, turns this muscle to turn on. It will simultaneously tell the other muscle that does the opposite movement to have rest, so it can start recovering and take the pressure of the tendon. So doing curls this way is really good, and obviously just doing couple here this way. Alternative option is, and this is more like already trying to deal with the tendon issue that if already occurred, you'd basically maybe put your palms under the table, make sure the table is heavy, and just apply pressure with the fingers. So you're generating tension at the lengthened state of the muscle, and you hold it for about 30 seconds, just to kind of, the tendons they don't have a lot of blood in them, and the way they can be treated for inflammation is isometric loading. So just continuous pressure at a slightly lengthened state of the muscle. That's supposed to take the pressure of the tendon and help it heal. There you go. That's a little bit of a knowledge about prevention of injuries around force grip and like forceful transitions, potentially dealing with injuries that you can occur around your elbows from it. If we're just doing prehab, we're trying to prepare and prevent injury, like prepare the forearms and prevent injuries. We could literally be doing like forearm extensions. Or some people call it forearm curls in both ways. And then the other one this way. So I'm keeping the elbows down, so I've got a nice little bit of support there, and I'm carrying as well. So I never did this until things went south. But if I'm training someone who's very new to, like, they might be strong with pulling and pushing, right? Their pull-ups and dips can be like 15 reps or whatever. But they haven't done much force grip, they haven't done much transition work and, bar muscle up. And they do utilize their forearm quite a lot, the way I teach, basically. Then this is probably going to be a really good accessory to have in your repertoire to prevent yourself from hurting yourself in the process of pursuing this mastery. Okay? So it's there, give it a bash, do a couple of curls this way and that way. We don't need to do the negatives because we're not broken yet. So bring yourself back a tiny bit, that's it. And we're just curling all the way up and all the way down as well. So let it fully stretch. You don't necessarily have to fully open the fingers because that's more about lengthening the muscle. For now, we're just trying to get nice activations. All the way up, all the way down. Curl it all the way in and then down. It's a great prep and prehab for ring muscle up as well, because obviously that shit is strenuous. I always say to clients, bar muscle ups, once you've got a good technique and you can do about 5 reps, you can generally get away with doing multiple sets of 3, 4, 5s, as long as you don't go to form breakdown or fatigue. Right? If your first set and your first rep and your last set and last rep look the same, then you could continue accumulating volume like you treat it like pull-ups.
Right, okay.
If you were to have 3 ring muscle ups in you, or even one, and keep attempting 1, 2, or 3 reps, or whatever it is, even sub-maximal, but you're doing several sets in one session, you do that a couple of times, you're gonna get yourself crippled. Like, you can do lots of volume with bar muscle ups and get away with it. Ring muscle ups, too much pressure on the smaller muscles. It takes a much longer time for your body to be able to deal with it. Okay, let's do this again. A little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit back. Okay, curve. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, breath. Are you happy to give the next step now? We're gonna swap 6 inches for 12. So we're gonna lay down on the bottom of the sternum. And then you could have one leg on that for assistance. And then you pin the shoulder blades back. And up here, So, as I said, we started with isometric on the bottom. So we know where the end point is. And then we're gonna try to get into that point. So I'll do it with 1 foot assisted, So lay down on the sternum, fold it, 1 leg in front, like a V up. That's it. A little bit deeper, elbows in the elbows, that's good. And then leg goes back, hips come forward, you lean back. Yes, that's awesome. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, down. Well done. Oh, good. That's really good. You could have stayed there with 1 foot all the way, but you've managed without. But again, once you become competent and understanding how to stick to the bar, if you add that in reversal on your bar muscle up, you're gonna be much more in control for much longer when you do your reps of bar muscle ups. If your last rep ends up a winding grip over and then do a muscle up, like let's say this is, I've already done several or a couple, whatever, and I physically can't pull high enough. Doing this will not work, like it will not be a valid rep because your wrist touched the bar before you went on top of the bar. But for an untrained eye, you still did a nice muscle up, So, but it will just make the muscle ups rather than having to make them work like this and be like super explosive and tiring. We wobble a little bit or wiggle. It just comes with. It helps us get really good at rolling over, grabbing the bar, and then winding ourselves that last bit on, rather than having to pull past that thing. That's it. Lay down on your sternum into a V-sit position, So legs to the face. That's it, both legs to the face. Good. Quads tight, lean back. Legs down, legs down, legs down. Good. And rest. A little bit more tension in the glutes would have been good, and being more forceful with bringing the hips forward more. A little bit deeper every time, I think we move this one across anyway. So go lean back a tiny bit, come back. And you'll know that it's primarily your core working and just your elbows, So it's 3 different depths. You go however far you can recover from it. And remember, there's obviously this, but a lot of it is this, core crunching, and the wrist unwinding, helping us get over. Again, disclaimer to everybody watching this. This is very strenuous. This is not something you can just, do 3 times a week for 10 sets and get away with it without getting yourself injured. So please dose it and probably use a band to kind of reduce the resistance on it. Slide down a little bit more. Hips forward, legs down. Back on, back on, back on, back on. Come on. Got stuck there. Because skill, in order to develop the mental, like the mental capacity for it, the neural pathways, the ability to perform it, that you attain in your brain, not in your muscles, you should be as close to the ideal form that you're trying to attain as possible during your doing your practice. And also, if you're failing more than 20% of your attempts, you're risking putting yourself off. You're more likely to injure yourself. 2, you're not giving yourself that necessary confidence that you will need from accumulating your wins. So it's so substantially better when you're learning skill-based exercise that is also very strength-based, you know? But it's still a movement that you need to learn in your brain. So I treat it as a skill. If I fail it more than 20% of the time, I regress it, so I can continue having a productive practice. So I still, like, my hands are a little bit narrower than my shoulders, maybe. Okay. But there is enough space for my chest to be laying on top, and obviously backwards. So hips come forward, legs stay down, and then back on. Yeah? You don't have to go all the way down. Yeah. And remember, the grip needs to stay on. So we're in a false grip for the whole duration of this movement. If it slips off, then you're losing your height, and you no longer have that pivot point that lets you get over the bar. And remember, we can make the band shorter by pulling it over the bar more. That's it. Yeah. Just there's no reason there's no benefit of making it so hard that it's really hard that you can barely do it. Rather, we focus on actually teaching ourselves that this is manageable. Yeah. And sending that message to your subconscious mind so it believes it. Slide the rib cage off first. So go chest down for a little bit longer. That's it. Now hips forward, legs down, and then lift the legs up, lay down on it. No wiggling, no wiggling. Oh, that was a chicken wing. Both hands and the legs have to kick at the same time. So obviously the kick comes from the hip, but still that needs to kind of be synchronized. What I noticed you did there is you weren't quite on the sternum, right? Yeah, the bottom of the sternum. You were kind of like here, and then you couldn't quite roll. So being a tiny bit deeper, just in that groove, it's going to be probably a little bit better. I'll give you a purple band again because that was. What I feel like is put my legs up and then come that way. Nope. If you time it with the forearm extension, you will roll on. Yeah. Because again, I am both strong at it because I've done it for a long time, but I also make it easy enough for myself so I can do more of it. Yeah. Right. So I'm not giving you a version that is really difficult. I'm giving you the best possible version that is both challenging, but also making it work. Yeah. So I'm not trying to give you an impossible task. On the off chance you'll get it, I'm giving you a task that is the most likely to happen in the most optimal execution. So the weight of the legs, what happens is that it creates leverage that pulls my legs down. Yeah, so the more I lift the legs, the more they end up being pulled down, which helps me roll on top of the bar. Does that make sense? Yeah. So yeah, I know that the tendency is like, well, if I lift my legs, I fall off. Yeah. But if your center of gravity is in the right place and you're actively pulling in and unwinding, you'll roll on top of the bar. Yeah. So I go open, legs come up, I roll on, and I drive my head down this way as well. Yeah. Let's go purple buns. Remember, we're laying on the bottom of the sternum, yeah? So we gotta be quite deep into that dip before we lower ourselves down. Slide off a little bit more. Chest down. Slide your rib cage off, keep your head down. That's it, yep. Fold in half. And then lean back a little bit. And legs up. Roll on. There we go. I know it's horrid, but it's all work.
That was interesting, because when I started to put my legs up, I thought, I'm going to pull off the back, as I always do.
And then you didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's like...
It's obviously, if you pull your legs up too early, it'll pull you back. Yeah. But if you pull the legs up at the same time as you send your hips back and you head forward, you keep the center of gravity directly on top of the bars. Yeah. So if you send your legs forward, that means something else has to go back, right? Yeah. And that's when you're more likely to fall off. But if you send your hips back against your legs, so we're crunching and sending the hips back, then you're more likely to stay on that and roll. Yeah. Okay. To prove that I don't actually have to rely on my forearm that much, no grips. But it's all timing, coordination, and understanding where everything goes. So again, for the viewers, the session went along of joint mobilization. Don't put it on your thumbs. Always have it on over the palm. So thumbs out. That's it. We started with mobilization. So wrist, elbows, shoulders. So hammy stretches to help us with core compression and like being able to get our legs to our face more. Then chest openers on the rings. So just stretching the chest. You're on the rib cage. You need to sink down more. That's it. Yes, perfect. Elbows back and legs down and then on. There we go. And then again, lean back, lean back. No, don't lift up, don't lift up. Stay low, stay low. Go again. Elbows back, legs down, legs down, legs down, legs down, legs down. And legs up, roll on. Come on. Yes. There we go. That makes it worth it. Well done. Yeah, Russian push-ups, chest openers, V-ups, and now we did some transition practice. And it was pretty spicy.
Spicy, yeah.
So for the viewers reference, this exercise is a good exercise to help us. Like when we do a lot of false grip and transition practice, we're activating our forearm extensors to kind of reciprocally inhibit the forearm flexors that are currently really tight and sore in Anthony. So nice little setup here. We've got comfortable position for the knees. We're leaning over the bench. The forearms are in contact with the bench, so they're like stable. We're just trying to lift, curl the wrists out as much as possible. Big range of movement, about 10 reps at a time, just to help loosen. Does it feel like this side is better now?
Yeah. Yeah. It's tight on this side, but
yeah. Well, yeah.
But it's looser. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, little trick. This might not be relevant if you're doing high transition, like standard bar muscle ups, but if you're trying to improve your ability to move around the bar, this is definitely beneficial. And again, it's prehab, right? It's preventing the injury and strengthening the muscles that are taking the most beating. I guess last kind of a dramatic representation of proof of how, let's go this way. What happens when you're strong from practicing loads of transition and using like developing your ability to move around the bar and strengthening your forearms and the rest of it is, I do the back and forth, right? But there's so much more that we can kind of combine it with then. Like start on the top, go down, I could go back and down, go into the front lever, roll back in because I'm kind of familiar where I need to pull to then roll over and go forehead, pull back in, or else I have to drop the legs just before I transition. Yeah. So it's like this shape and then back on this one, etc. So it all helps. Or just like ice cream maker repetition front lever to a bar muscle up. And you could do it without the false grip as well. See the handler sliding? Yeah. But the amount of toll it takes on the forearms and elbows is obviously substantial. Couple of pendulums just to get the rhythm, and then let's get cracking. Fully straight arms. I rather less movement, less explosive, and just focusing on rhythm and locked out elbows. So tricep heavy engage. Big stretch, go. You're bending your arms. That's it. And again, straight away, you go stretch, push. Stretch, push. Get your chest into the bones. Rest up. You want this. Fully locked out arms. And every single time you come into that stretch point, you press back home. Okay? Rather than trying to go really high, we focus on good rhythm, good movement, and activation. But if the arm stays unlocked, we get more out of serrators. Okay? Okay. Yeah, it's a tricky one because it's not the same as doing a bar muscle up. Yeah. It's got some elements of it and some movement that we're trying to activate more muscle, the minor muscle. Sit, fully locked elbow, sit, keep the tension in the tricep. Yeah. You can stretch the chest too. That's it. As long as we don't end up overextending our body, that will be fine. Rest up. The most productive way to progress your bar muscle ups is one, ensure that you can, when you're clearing the bar, it looks proper. Yeah. The transition can be high, but ideally you want to transition low, because when you take the band away, you don't no longer pull as high, so it's not relevant. So learn to clear the bar and make sure you're making your every single rep looks the same, looks clean, the cleanest you can make it, rather than just flinging ourselves over the bar. And then if you can do that, your goal is to do as many sets of best form reps as possible, and that'll make for a productive session. As soon as the form starts to deviate from like the goal that we're trying to, we step away, we rest, and then we continue. It's so much better to do 10 sets of 3 than to do 5 sets of 5, but really bad form. Yeah. You can clear the bar sooner, yeah? I like how you locked onto the bar, that's perfect. So yeah, with this green band, you could probably do like 10 reps and barely break a sweat. Yeah. About 5 and then rest. Yeah. There's very little swing there. It was probably a tiny bit too little. That's good. Yeah. Good. So knowing that the band is going to carry us over the bar with ease should be an opportunity to try to get really close to the bar. You know, last time you said you were worried that you're going to hit your head to the bar, and you didn't. Yeah. So let's try to get near that sort of a sensation again. It's up to you. You can go purple if you want. Go purple. I like how you're always pushing the boundaries. You're always like, what gave me 2 choices? One is easy, one is hard. We're going hard.
I noticed I wasn't watching the bar then.
Yeah, I mean, so. Good. Good, keep going. Good. Rest up. Awesome. Yeah. Good, that's tidy, yeah. Yes, good. Keep the tension in the quad, you're starting to micro bend your knees. Yes, good job, rest up, awesome. Those were very productive sets. Yeah. And we can very quickly rectify any tiny deviation from the perfect form, like a little bit of that happening as we're transitioning, yeah? Because it should be this, and not that, because you could get no rep for it. Yeah. But that being said, if we don't have good core compression, or like that explosive core crunch, and also tight hammies, then the athlete is more likely to bend their knees. Yeah. The same thing. If you don't have an L-sit, this is happening when you're trying to hold your L-sit, then your quad is being inhibited by a tightness in the hammy, etc., and it's going to be a detriment to your overall ability. So we're not only working on our pulling for bar muscle, we're working on at least 10 bodyweight pull-ups, 10 dips, good V-up, good hollow body. Yeah, because it's pull, push, and core all in one. Yeah. It's a beast of an exercise. If I could only do one exercise in the gym for generally overall performance, like, you know, level of like metabolic work, like cardiovascular strength, and getting as much you know, bang for your buck, muscle ups, bar muscle ups specifically, would definitely be high on the list. Yeah. Obviously, the best kind of overall strength training exercises. Again, there's no such thing as the best, but if you had to remove everything and only stick to a couple, you'll be doing, if I can't do pull-ups and dips because that's 2 exercises, I'll do bar muscle ups instead, because that combines 3 different elements, and either squat or deadlift, because then you're developing all of the posterior chain as well. So, I mean, street lifting as a format has all those movements, right? It just makes you just undeniably an absolute animal. And yeah, obviously, if you only train for 1 rep max and you never exceed 5 reps in your training, then you're not going to be super fit. You're not going to have the engine, you're not going to have the cardiovascular capacity. But you're still going to be so much better off than the majority of society if you can do weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, weighted muscle-ups, and heavy squats. You know, that's just undeniable display of fitness. Or strength. Or both. Okay, let's swap over to the black bands. And obviously, we go down the band, we're going thinner, we're not going to be able to do as many reps, and that's absolutely fine. Instead, we can do more sets. Tidy. Very smooth gliding around the bar. Very good. Keep going. Good. Keep the tension on the core. Tidy. See, look at that wiggle on the wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That definitely helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Rest up. So we noticed that there was a tiny bit of a sticky point on the transition, and you saved it because of the practice we do on the P-bars, but it's starting to become a little bit of a tricky. So that's where we call it. Yeah.
Okay.
That was fantastic. I've learned to do bar muscle ups without bands. I've never had gym membership up until I started coaching, really. I couldn't afford bands, I couldn't afford the gym membership anyway. So the way I learned was, as I was building my pulling strength, and I got about 12 pull-ups at that point, it was like 6 months into my practice, but I was also like 17, and I weighed like, you know, if I stepped on the scale, there was a minus at the beginning, so it didn't matter. But my muscle ups, if I can here, looked something like basically like a CrossFit-y, keepy, overextending muscle ups, just to get over the bar. But then the vision I had in my head long term was to make it look as clean as, you know, the guys I was looking up to on YouTube, you know, in that back in 2012, to make it look like theirs. Yeah. So the ambition was to make the muscle up look like this.
Yeah.
And I have achieved that successfully.
Yeah.
But my first muscle ups, without any accessories, any help, was basically that.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of a boss fit.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Boss fit, yeah.
Well, thankfully, having to admit that, because I didn't have any resource, right?
Yeah.
And then as I got comfortable and understood how I go around the bar and how I can lock onto it better, I started to skim, like shave off excess leg movement, excess overextending, and started working on trying to grip the bar better so I could kind of stay on it and help myself manipulate my body weight around it, like we've been practicing on dead bars. Yeah. And for someone young who's got really malleable brain, because you know that those adaptations are done much faster, not really a problem. You can start with a shoddy form and clean it up.
Yeah.
When I work with adults in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, changes, once you've looked to something that works, to change it is such a chore. So this allows us to practice the form we're trying to attain much sooner, so we can spend time repeating it over and over, so it's found, so it solidifies itself in our brain, and as we build strength. So if you can afford funds, bloody use them. Because if you learn about form, then to remove it and evolve it is such a difficult job. It's such a difficult task. All yours. Wow, so close. I nearly thought you had it. I nearly thought you had it.
I thought I had it as well.
Yeah. I think you send the legs and hips too far forward. If you just send the legs forward, that will be right. But we've had so much work today already.
Yeah, good session.
Yeah, it was awesome. What was your inspiration to do calisthenics? Have you ever watched any videos that made you go, holy shit, I want to be like that? I always thought that I would never be able to attain any of these movements. But then I did it anyway with zero expectations, and then within 6 months I actually got a bar muscle up, showed one as is. But I was like, oh, it is possible. And I noticed that I'm gaining strength and everything. And I was like, okay, maybe there is something to it. And then I white knuckled this for all of my young adult life until, this, the inspiration were people like Leeway Turner, Hannibal King, Bar Brothers, although they were very much appealing to young, adolescent boys wanting to be slightly more men-like, It's but it's good, They had a big online community, and the first challenge was the barbarians, where it's 50 pull-ups, 50 dips, and 20 muscle-ups, and within 4 minutes or something. And I was like, right, this is the goal. Having a great community, not having to worry about paying bills, and doing what I love is honestly such an incredible, that is the definition of success to me. Sometimes work, even if you love what you do, can be quite quite, I'm not going to say daunting, difficult and challenging and laborious, but ultimately it gives me so much satisfaction. Like it's unlike anything I've ever done. And I kind of like, I have a background in engineering. I've done mechanical engineering. I'm a technician in mechatronics. I worked on CNC machines for like 4 years, 6 years. So like 4 years in the UK, 2 years in Poland, and I thought like, wow, this is what I want to do. Because I saw someone grow a family-run business and develop it and see it change and everything. And I was like, wow, that's fascinating for me. And I thought that engineering was it. I realized that running a business and coaching and sharing my passion with others, that's what it's like. Right. There we go. Cut that out. We've never done that. We just cabbaged each other.
If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. The algorithm will absolutely love it, and it will help promote the video to a wider audience. If you haven't already subscribed, this will be a great time to do so. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one.